You keep running after money, chasing it like a madman. And that is exactly why it keeps running away from you. You must understand the fundamental nature of money. Money is shy. It is a very feminine energy. It is like a beautiful woman. If you chase her, if you are aggressive, if you are desperate, she will become frightened. She will close her doors. She will run away. Money does not follow the one who begs. It does not follow the one who grasps. It follows the one who is still. It follows the one who has become a magnet. When you stop chasing, it starts coming. When you stop craving, it starts serving. People have completely misunderstood the whole game of life. You have been hypnotized by your society, by your teachers, by your politicians. They all speak the same language, the language of effort. They tell you that money is attracted by hard work, by competition, by struggle, by sweating from morning until night. They glorify the hustle. But I tell you, this is a lie. Look at the world around you. Open your eyes. Look at the laborer who works 12 hours a day breaking stones in the hot sun. He works harder than anyone. He sweats more than anyone. If hard work were the key to wealth, he should be the emperor of the world. But he is poor. He is empty. He is exhausted. And look at the flowers in the field. They do not work. They do not punch a time clock. They do not worry about tomorrow. Yet even Solomon in all his glory was not dressed as beautifully as one of these. Existence provides for them. Why? Because they are not fighting with life. They are in a state of let go. They are in a state of allowance. The truth, and it is a dangerous truth for your ego, is that money comes to those who are at ease with life. It comes to those who move with grace, not with greed. When your energy is relaxed, when you are no longer tense, existence begins to serve you. The universe is not your enemy. It is your mother. But you have forgotten this. You behave as if you are in enemy territory, always guarding, always fighting, always snatching. In this message, I will show you how to drop this armor. I will show you how to stop fighting with money and start flowing with it. You will learn the secret that the masters of life have always known, hidden. The ancient mystery schools hidden in the silence of the enlightened ones. That abundance is not something you earn. It is not a wage. It is not a reward for your suffering. It is something you allow. It is your birthright. The moment you were born, you were born rich. You were born with the entire kingdom of God within you. But you have been taught to look outside, to beg, to borrow, to steal. I will show you why effort creates scarcity. This sounds illogical to your mind because your mind is trained in mathematics. Your mind says, if I put in more effort, I should get more result. That is the logic of the machine. That is the logic of the assembly line. But life is not a machine. Life is an organic, living unity. In life, effort often becomes a barrier. Why? Because effort implies that you are fighting against something. Effort implies resistance. And what you resist persists. When you struggle for money, you are sending a very powerful signal to existence. You are vibrating at the frequency of I do not have. You are screaming with your energy, I am poor, I am lacking, I am desperate. And existence creates your reality based on your vibration, not your desire. If you vibrate lack, you will attract more situations that create lack. It is a mirror. If you stand before a mirror and cry, the reflection will cry. You cannot force the reflection to smile while you are crying. You have to smile first. I will show you why struggle blocks success and how relaxation becomes the magnet for riches. When you understand this, really understand this in your gut, not just in your head, wealth becomes play. Life becomes effortless. You have been told that money comes through long hours, sacrifice, blood and tears. You have been taught that you must compete, that you must prove yourself worthy. And yet, look at your life. The harder you try, the further it seems to go. It is like a horizon. You run towards it, but it moves away. You earn, yes, you get the paycheck, but you never feel rich. You save, you hoard, you count your coins, but you never feel secure. There's always a trembling inside. What if I lose it? What if the market crashes? What if I get fired? I understand this struggle. It is not just about money, it is deeper than that. It is about trust. You have forgotten how to trust existence. You have forgotten how to let life take care of you. You think existence needs your push. You think if you don't push the river, it will not flow. You think if you don't wake up the sun, it will not rise. You are taking too much burden on your small shoulders. Existence is vast, infinite, intelligent. It has been managing the stars, the galaxies, the tides, the seasons for billions of years without your help. It can manage your bank account too if you allow it. But you don't allow it. You interfere. You block the flow with your anxiety. The real richness begins when you stop living from fear. When you relax into the flow, money, love, and opportunities begin to arrive on their own. You don't force them. You allow them. And so, in this time together, we will explore the art of attracting wealth effortlessly. Not through ambition. Ambition is a disease, but through awareness. If you are listening to this and you feel a resonance, if you feel that you are tired of the fighting and ready for the flowing, then you are part of this energy field we are creating. Join this movement of awareness. Click the join button below to become a member of this channel. It is not just a button. It is a declaration that you are ready to go deeper, that you are ready to support the spread of consciousness. When you support the truth supports you. I will show you why money follows joy, not anxiety. Why? The more playful your spirit, the more abundance life gives you. You have to become like a child again. Jesus says, unless you become like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. And I say to you, unless you become like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of wealth either, because the child is playful. The child trusts. The child does not worry about the next meal. And because he does not worry, the meal comes. You will understand that money is not material. It is energy. It is a currency. Look at the word current, like a river. It needs to flow. It responds to your inner frequency, not your outer labor. When you are calm, clear, and connected, abundance finds its way to you naturally. We will go deep into what real prosperity means, not accumulation. Accumulation is for the insecure. Real prosperity is alignment. You will see existence is infinitely rich, and that poverty is only a misunderstanding of energy. By the end of this discourse, you will know how to live in such a way that money becomes your servant, not your master. So listen closely. Don't be in a hurry to apply what you hear. That is the mind again, wanting to use the truth for profit. Just listen, soak in it, let it penetrate your heart. Because if you truly understand, if you absorb this deeply, you won't have to do anything to attract money. It will begin to come effortlessly, gracefully, because you will have. Remember the secret, that existence takes care of those who trust. Here is something most people completely miss. Your poverty has nothing to do with the lack of money. Poverty is not about what is in your pocket. It is about what is in your mind. You can be surrounded by gold. You can sit on a throne of diamonds and still live like a beggar if your mind is constantly striving, constantly chasing, constantly afraid that it is not enough. The real poverty is the feeling of not enough. The beggar on the street asking for a coin is poor, yes, but the billionaire who wants just one more billion is also a beggar. In fact, he is a bigger beggar because his need is bigger. The real poverty is effort. The endless effort to get somewhere, to become someone, to prove your worth. Why do you need to prove your worth? To whom? Existence created you. You are already worthy. The rose does not try to prove its worth to the sun. It just blooms, and in its blooming, it is accepted. The poor man is not the one who has little. The poor man is the one who believes that more will make him whole. And so he runs not because he is poor, but because he is restless. Effort is born from fear. Look at your work. Are you working for joy? Is your work a dance? Is it a song? Or are you working out of anxiety? Are you afraid that if you stop, you lose everything? So you push, you grind, you hustle, you compete. Not because you love the game, but because you're terrified of falling behind. And that fear poisons your energy. It tightens your body. Have you noticed? Your neck is stiff. Your shoulders are heavy. Your stomach is in knots. That is the energy of rejection. You are rejecting the present moment for a future promise. And abundance lives in the present, not in the future. This fear hardens your mind. It shuts the door on abundance, because abundance doesn't come to the tens. It comes to the trusting. The man who trusts existence doesn't need to fight with life. He flows with it. The more relaxed you are, the more life opens its treasures to you. The whole world has been taught the same lie, that hard work creates wealth. This is the slave morality. They want you to work hard so they can be rich. But have you seen how many people work from sunrise to sunset only to remain poor, exhausted, and empty? If hard work were the key, the coal miner would be the king. If struggle brought success, then misery should make you rich. But it doesn't. Hard work without awareness is just a more respectable form of slavery. You are running in circles faster and faster, thinking speed will make the circle a straight line. But you only end up dizzy, tired, bitter, and still in the same place. Let me tell you a small story. There was once a man who lived by a great, beautiful river. The water was crystal clear, sweet and abundant. But this man was insane. He was thirsty. But instead of bending down and drinking directly from the river, he brought buckets. He built a pipeline. He installed pumps. He tried to scoop the water into his house to store it in tanks. He was afraid the river might stop flowing tomorrow. He spent his life running between the river and his doorstep, carrying heavy buckets, fixing leaks, guarding his tanks from neighbors. He was sweating, bleeding, worrying. He called this work. He called this responsibility. But one day, an old mystic came to him, watched him running back and forth, and laughed. A belly laugh that shook the ground. "Why are you sweating so much?" the mystic asked. The man wiped his brow and said, "I am securing my water. I am making sure I don't die of thirst." The mystic said, "You fool, the river is infinite. It has been flowing before you were born, and it will flow after you are gone. It was never meant to be carried. It was meant to be entered." You see, life is that river. Abundance is that current. You were never meant to carry the weight of it. You were never meant to hoard it in your small tanks. You were meant to flow with it. You were meant to be in the river. The more you scoop, the less you drink. The man who chases money is like the farmer who pulls on his plants to make them grow faster. He thinks he is helping, but he is killing the roots. He destroys what he desires most. You cannot force abundance. It is not a military conquest. It is a blooming. It blooms naturally when you stop interfering. Money is energy, and energy responds to harmony. If your mind is in chaos, your life will reflect it. If your bank account is empty, look inside. Your mind is cluttered with junk fears, doubts, desires, jealousies. Clean the house. If your mind is relaxed, opportunities begin to appear without effort. Have you noticed? Remember the times in your life when things just worked out. You fell in love effortlessly. You found the perfect job when you weren't looking. You met the right person at a party you didn't want to go to. When you stop pushing, doors open. That's not coincidence. That's the nature of energy. Effort is resistance. Relaxation is magnetism. You have been told to hustle harder, to do more, to compete, to grind. But competition is the mindset of the poor. Listen to me carefully. Competition is the mindset of the beggar. It comes from the fear that there isn't enough for everyone. If he gets it, I lose it. This is a lie. The universe is not a pie with limited slices. The universe is a fountain. It is constantly regenerating. And this fear creates scarcity, not in the world, but in your vibration. The more you try to outdo others, the more you affirm that you are lacking. But when you trust that life is abundant, competition becomes meaningless. You stop looking at your neighbor's plate and you start enjoying your own feast. You start playing from joy, not fear. And paradoxically, that's when you begin to attract everything you once chased. You think money is attracted by effort, but it isn't. It is attracted by ease. It comes to those who are not desperate for it, to those who are in tune with their purpose, to those who work not for money, but from passion. If you are enjoying this deep dive, if you are feeling the knots in your stomach untying, show your appreciation. You can use the super thanks button below. It is a beautiful way to say thank you to the universe for this message and to help us keep this light burning. When you give thanks with currency, you open the flow of currency into your own life. The universe is intelligent. It doesn't reward struggle. It rewards alignment. A man in harmony with himself becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to shout. He doesn't have to beg. He doesn't have to chase. Things begin to move toward him because his energy says, I am complete. The one who feels incomplete keeps pushing everything away. There's a story from the East about a man who spent his life trying to become rich. He worked day and night, saving every coin, eating stale bread, wearing rags. He was always afraid of losing what he had. He accumulated a mountain of gold, but he was miserable. When he finally grew old and lay on his deathbed, he looked at his gold and realized he couldn't eat it, he couldn't drink it, and he couldn't take it with him. People found a note beside his bed that said, "I am tired, I never lived." He had forgotten that his energy was the real currency. Every breath spent in worry was a coin wasted. Every moment of peace lost to striving was a piece of gold thrown away. He was rich in possessions, but poor in life. True wealth is created by what you do. It is created by how you are. You can do less and attract more when your energy is aligned. You can speak less and influence more when your words come from silence. You can move less and accomplish more when your actions arise from awareness. This is the great paradox of life. The lazier you are in the ego, the richer you become in spirit. Laziness, in the spiritual sense, doesn't mean inaction. It means effortless action. It means letting the universe move through you rather than trying to push the universe yourself. Once you understand that effort is poverty, a beautiful realization dawns on you. You see that all your struggle was never necessary. Life was waiting to give you everything you asked for. You were just too busy asking. When you stop striving, you start receiving. This is the ultimate law. When you stop running, life catches up to you. It was never about deserving. Who told you that you have to deserve the air you breathe? Did you pass an exam to get this? Breath? Did you pay a tax to get your heartbeat? No, it is given freely. Abundance is the same. It was never about earning. It was about allowing. The poor man believes he must earn every blessing. He carries a ledger in his mind. I did this, so I should get that. He bargains with God. I will pray for 2 hours. Please give me a lottery win. This is not prayer. This is business. And God is not a businessman. The rich man, the truly rich man of consciousness, knows that blessings are already flowing. He only needs to open his hands. And you can only open your hands when you stop clutching. Imagine a monkey. This is the state of your mind. Reaching into a jar to grab a handful of nuts. The jar has a narrow neck. The monkey grabs the nuts. His hand forms a fist. And now he cannot pull it out. He is trapped. He screams. He cries. He blames the jar. He blames the hunter. But all he has to do is open his hand, let go of the nuts, and he is free. But he refuses. He thinks, if I let go, I lose. That is humanity's story. You are trapped by your own grip. You are holding on to your ideas of how money should come, how hard life is, how you are a victim. Let go. Drop the nuts, and the whole world opens before you. So I tell you, stop trying so hard. You have done enough. You have struggled enough for 10 lifetimes. Now, learn to rest. Learn to trust. Money is not your enemy. Your effort is. Relax and watch how quickly existence begins to serve you. The moment you stop pushing against life, life rushes to meet you. And once you begin to see this, that abundance comes through allowance, not effort, a new question naturally arises within you. If not by striving, then how does wealth really come? And that's what we will explore now. The energy of allowance, the secret rhythm that makes all abundance flow effortlessly toward you. What I am about to tell you may seem almost upside down to everything you have been taught, because you were raised in a world that glorifies struggle. Your heroes are the ones who suffered. Your history books are full of wars and conquests. Your society worships the hustler, the one who burns the candle at both ends, the one who sleeps 4 hours a night. They tell you to chase, to fight, to grind until your last breath. But existence does not work that way. It never has. Look around you. Step out of your human madness for a moment and look at nature. Nothing in nature struggles to become what it already is. The tree doesn't rush to grow, it stands in trust. And the growth happens. The flower doesn't strain to bloom. It surrenders to the sun, and the blooming happens. The river doesn't force itself to flow. It finds the path of least resistance, and it reaches the ocean. They all exist in the effortless rhythm of allowance. They move, yes, but their movement is not resistance, it is surrender. That is the energy of abundance, the energy of money, the energy of life itself. Everything that grows, everything that multiplies, does so in trust. The soil trusts the seed. It doesn't ask the seed for a resume. It doesn't ask, are you worthy of my nutrients? It just gives. The seed trusts the rain trusts the cloud, and the cloud trusts the wind. There is no hurry, no anxiety, no bargaining. It's all a dance of faith. But man has forgotten how to dance. He has become an accountant of life. He walks through the garden of existence with a calculator, constantly measuring, calculating, worrying. How much have I earned? How much have I lost? Is this a good investment? He has turned existence into an equation of effort and reward. And in that very calculation, he loses his connection with the flow. When you try to control the flow of life, you choke it. It's like holding your breath and wondering why you can't breathe. I must hold this breath. It is mine. You will die. To live, you must exhale. You must trust that the next breath will come. Money is the same. To have it, you must let it flow. Life is giving. It's generous beyond measure. It has been showering abundance since before you were born. But you were too busy tightening your fists to receive. Money, like love, is shy. It doesn't come to the beggar, have you noticed? When you beg for love, you become repulsive. People run away. When you beg for money, opportunities run away. It comes to the one who is already full. It comes to the one who says, I am happy with or without you. Independence is magnetic. It doesn't come to the chaser. It comes to the one who is still. It doesn't come to the anxious. It comes to the peaceful. You must become receptive, open, relaxed. Allowance is not passivity. Don't misunderstand me. I am not telling you to lie on the couch and do nothing. That is Thomas's lethargy. Allowance is the highest form of participation. It is active passivity. It is being fully alert, fully present, but without tension. When you are truly relaxed, your energy aligns with existence, and then things start happening on their own. Opportunities arise, people appear, ideas come, and abundance begins to unfold effortlessly as if invisible hands were guiding it all. This is the law of allowance, the art of letting life work for you instead of you working against life. Let me tell you a simple story. A man once came to me, a very successful businessman, very rich but very stressed. He said, Osho, I have been meditating for years, but nothing happens. I am not peaceful. I have money but no joy. I am not fulfilled. I looked at him. He was sitting on the edge of his cushion, ready to jump, looking at his watch. I smiled and said, "Stop meditating." He looked shocked. But how can I stop? It is my practice, my discipline, my devotion. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day to meditate. I said, that is exactly the problem. You are doing meditation like you do your business. You are aggressive about it. You are trying to conquer silence like you conquered the market. You are still striving, still fighting, still trying to control what cannot be controlled. And meditation isn't something you do. It is something that happens when you stop doing. Just sit and breathe. Let the silence find you. Don't chase the silence. If you chase silence, it becomes noise. He left confused. The mind always gets confused by simplicity. But after a few days, he returned. His face was different. The lines of tension were gone. He had tears in his eyes. I didn't meditate, he said. I just sat in my garden and watched the birds. I stopped trying to be spiritual, and suddenly everything felt perfect. I felt a peace I have never bought with all my millions. That's how life works. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you allow, grace enters. Allowance is not laziness. It is deep trust. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing without tension. When you act from relaxation, every gesture becomes powerful because it's aligned with the rhythm of the whole. When you move with existence, you move in harmony. But when you act from fear, every step becomes a struggle because you're moving against the current. Fear divides your energy. It splits you in two. One part of you wants to go forward, the part that wants success. The other part of you pulls back the heart that is afraid of failure, or afraid of success, or feeling unworthy. You are a house divided against itself. That's why your actions exhaust you. Have you felt that deep exhaustion? It is not physical. It is existential. It is the friction of your own internal conflict. The relaxed man is not divided. He moves as one whole. And in that wholeness, miracles happen. The universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to vibration. You can't deceive it. You can say affirmations all day. I am rich. I am rich. I am rich. You can stand in front of the mirror and shout it. You can visualize wealth until you have a headache. You can repeat mantras until your throat dries. But if your inner energy is tense, doubtful, desperate, life will mirror that desperation. The universe hears what you feel, not what you say. If you say, I am rich, but you feel, I am afraid I won't make rent, the universe hears the fear. You may fool the world. You may fool your neighbors with your fancy car, but you cannot fool existence. Money will not come to you because you want it. It will come to you because you are ready for it. Readiness means openness, trust, receptivity. It means saying to life, I am here. I am enough. I am willing to receive whatever you wish to give. It is a state of vulnerability, and the ego hates vulnerability. The ego wants to be a fortress. But abundance cannot enter a fortress. It enters the open field. Have you ever noticed that when you are happy, when you are relaxed, when you are deeply enjoying, maybe you are on vacation or falling in love, good things start happening. Suddenly, you meet the right people. You find the right opportunities. Even money seems to appear out of nowhere. A refund check arrives. A debt is forgiven. A new client calls. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. The frequency of joy attracts abundance. The frequency of anxiety attracts scarcity. When you are joyful, you are saying to existence, I trust you. I am enjoying your creation. And existence behaves like a proud host. If you enjoy the food, the host brings more. Take more. Have another serving. But when you are fearful, when you are tense, when you are desperate, you are insulting the host. You are saying, this is not enough. I am starving. I don't trust you will feed me. And existence says, then I cannot give. If you are closed, you are closed. The mind will argue. Of course, the mind is a lawyer. It will say, but if I don't plan, if I don't push, how will I survive? How will I succeed? I need to worry to be safe. The mind believes it must control everything, but control is the illusion of the insecure. Look at the sky. Does it have pillars to hold it up? No. It remains vast without support. Look at the stars. Do they have a manager telling them when to shine? No. Look at your breath. It has been flowing in and out without your effort since the moment you left the womb. Who manages that? Not you. If you had to manage your breath, you would have died in your sleep long ago. There is a greater intelligence at work, something far wiser than your plans and goals. And when you begin to trust that intelligence, you become effortless. You stop chasing, and suddenly everything starts chasing you. Think of a musician playing a flute. The music doesn't come because he forces it. If he blows too hard, there is no melody, only a screeching noise. The music comes because he allows it. He becomes one with the instrument, one with the breath, one with the melody. He disappears. Only the song remains. The less he tries, the more beautiful the sound. That's how existence works. When you stop forcing, it begins to play through you. You don't need to make things happen. You only need to allow them. If you are finding this rhythm, if you are hearing the music in these words, consider supporting this channel by clicking the super thanks button. You participate in the energy exchange. You say yes to the flow. And when you give to the source of your inspiration, you create a vacuum for more inspiration and abundance to fill your life. There's a story of a man holding a handful of sand. He wanted to keep it. The tighter he squeezed, the more it slipped through his fingers. He squeezed until his knuckles were white. But the sand kept escaping. When he finally opened his hand, the sand settled softly on his palm. That's the law of allowance in its simplest form. When you grip life, it escapes you. When you open your hand, it stays. So remember this, abundance is not achieved, it's received. You don't have to chase it, you have to make space for it. Relax into trust. Let go of the belief that struggle creates success. Existence is infinitely abundant. Its generosity is beyond measure, but it will not force on you. It waits for your permission. You must become the open sky, not the closed fist. And when you begin to live this way, when your energy shifts from tension to trust, from effort to allowance, a new understanding begins to dawn. You see that abundance is not separate from creativity. That to attract wealth, you must first express it. That the richest people are not those who take the most, but those who give the most freely, joyfully, without calculation. And that's what we will explore next. The divine truth that creativity itself is the real currency of existence. And when you create from joy, money becomes your shadow. Now we come to something deeper, something that few people ever truly understand, because they are too busy looking at the surface. Money doesn't come from taking, it comes from creating. The universe does not reward greed, it rewards expression. The moment you begin to live creatively, the moment you begin to share your energy, your ideas, your joy, existence begins to pour abundance into you. Why? Because you have become a vehicle for life's expansion. Life wants to expand. It wants to grow. And if you help life expand, life helps you expand. It is a partnership. Money in its essence is not a thing. It is not paper. It is not gold. It is not digits on a screen. It is a movement, a current, a reflection of your creative flow. When your energy is alive, when you are giving to life, life starts to give back to you in ways that cannot be predicted or measured. But when you close yourself off, when you hold back your gifts because you are afraid of criticism or afraid of failure or waiting for the perfect time, you stop the flow. And when the flow stops, the water becomes stagnant. Stagnant water breeds disease. Stagnant energy breeds poverty. All forms of richness, not just money, but love, health, inspiration, begin to dry up. Most people think of money as something to possess, something to store, to hold, to guard in a fortress. But money, like blood, must circulate. If blood stops flowing in your body, you die. It is called a heart attack. If money stops flowing in your life, your spirit has a heart attack. You become rigid, fearful, small. A stagnant river rots. A flowing one stays pure. The same law governs wealth. The more freely it moves through you, the more of its existence entrusts to your hands. The moment you try to capture it, it begins to slip away. Money is meant to flow not just through transactions, but through creation, through generosity, through sharing the gifts that are uniquely yours. The more you hold, the less you have. The more you share, the more you become. The truly rich are not those who accumulate. They are those who create. Creation is abundance manifesting itself. Look at existence. Look at this magnificent cosmos. Look at how endlessly creative it is. The sun doesn't rise once and say, okay, that's enough work for a lifetime. I will retire now. It rises every day with new colors, new glory. The trees don't grow one season and say, I have given enough fruit. Now I will hoard my sap. They bloom again and again, lavishly, wastefully. The ocean doesn't make one wave. It makes billions. And each wave is unique. Life is extravagant. It overflows. It is not efficient. It is abundant. And yet, you've been told to limit yourself, to be efficient, to be conservative, to be safe. Don't take risks. Don't follow your dreams. Get a secure job. The moment you became afraid to create, you became poor, because life flows through the courageous. Abundance belongs to those who dare to express. There's a story about a painter who lived in a small village. He was poor, very poor. Not because he lacked talent, he was a genius, but because he kept painting what others wanted to see. He painted what the market demanded. He copied the style of famous artists because he thought that is what sells. He tried to please everyone, but no one bought his work. His work had no soul because it was borrowed. One day, tired and desperate, having no food left, he stopped trying. He said, "If I'm going to starve, I might as well starve doing what I love." He threw away his old canvases. He sat under a tree and began painting for himself. Not for the market, not for the critics, not for the money, for the sheer joy of painting. He painted the sky the way he saw it, wild, chaotic, full of laughter. He painted the river, the trees, his own heartbeat. He used colors that weren't allowed. He broke all the rules. And suddenly his paintings came alive. They started to vibrate. People began to notice. A passerby stopped, mesmerized. "I have never seen a sky like this," he said. "It makes me feel alive." He bought the painting immediately. Within months, the painter's work was in demand everywhere. But he no longer cared about selling. He painted because he had found joy. The money was just a byproduct. That's how abundance works. It comes when you stop trading authenticity for approval. It comes when you stop being a copy and become an original. Every act of true creativity is a prayer to existence. When you dance, when you sing, when you write, when you build, when you serve. Not for gain, but for joy, you align yourself with the very nature of life. Existence is a constant creation. Every second it births stars, ideas, beings. To live creatively is to live in tune with the divine. And once you are in tune, abundance follows effortlessly. You can't stop it because you have become one with the source of all creation. You are no longer asking for wealth, you are channeling it. Real wealth comes from inspiration, not obligation. When you act from duty, you are heavy. Have you felt the weight of doing something? Because you have to. It is like carrying a corpse. But when you act from joy, you are light. You have wings. The world has enough laborers. It has enough slaves to the clock. It needs creators. It needs dreamers. When you create something of beauty, even if it's just a kind word, a smile, a meal, a melody, you participate in the expansion of life. And life never forgets to reward those who expand it. The more joy you add to existence, the more joy comes back to you, multiplied, magnified, transformed. But this giving cannot be mechanical. You cannot fake generosity. You cannot say, "I will give so that I can get." That is business, not giving. That is manipulation. You are trying to trick existence. I will give $10 to the church, so God will give me $1 million. God is not a fool. True giving is spontaneous. It arises from fullness, not strategy. You give because you have too much to contain. The cloud gives rain, not because it wants to be kind to the earth, but because it is heavy with water. It must share. The flower gives fragrance, not to attract the bee, but because it is overflowing with perfume. It cannot hold it back. When you live that way, every act becomes sacred. When you cook, it is not a chore. It is alchemy. When you talk, it is not gossip. It is poetry. When you create, when you love, it becomes meditation. And meditation is the highest form of magnetism. The more silent and joyful you are, the more existence pours abundance into you. Because giving opens the space through which life can enter. It is like opening a window in a dark, stuffy room. The moment you do, the breeze begins to move. The fresh air rushes in. The light begins to pour in. But if you keep the windows shut because you are afraid the air inside will escape, you may have safety, yes, but you also have suffocation. you are breathing your own carbon dioxide. When you stop giving, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you begin to die. Giving is not limited to money. Please do not misunderstand. Money is the smallest, crudest form of giving. It is easy to write a check. It is much harder to give your being. You can give your attention. In this world, attention is the rarest commodity. Everyone is looking at their screens. No one is looking into eyes. Give your eyes. You can give your kindness. You can give your laughter. You can give your creativity, your time, your silence. Every form of giving is sacred because it acknowledges the truth that nothing is truly yours. It is all flowing through you. You are just a channel, a bridge, a vessel. And when the vessel allows the water to flow freely, it is always full of fresh water. But when it tries to hold, when it caps itself, the water becomes stale. It cracks. Life's energy cannot be contained. It must move. So let it move through you, and you will never lack. There was once a beggar who lived outside a rich man's mansion. For 40 years he sat there. Every day he begged for food, and every day he cursed his fate. Why is God so cruel? Why is that man in the mansion so rich and I am so poor? Years passed, and he grew old, bitter, resentful. He became a ball of hate. When he was finally dying, a crowd gathered. He had no family, just the people who passed by. Someone asked him, "You have been sitting on this old wooden box for 40 years. What is inside it?" The beggar whispered weakly, "I don't know. It's just a seat. I found it here when I arrived." They said, "Let us look." They pried open the lid of the box, and inside they found gold coins. Thousands of ancient gold coins, enough to feed him for 100 lifetimes. He had been a millionaire for 40 years. He started crying not tears of joy, but tears of absolute tragedy. He said, "I have been sitting on my treasure the whole time, begging for pennies from strangers." And he died. Humanity lives like that beggar. You are sitting on infinite abundance. You are sitting on the kingdom of God, the abundance of love, of creativity, of connection, of intelligence. Yet you go on begging from life, holding out your small cup, saying, "Give me more, give me a raise, give me approval." You don't realize that by giving, by opening the box yourself, you begin to discover the treasure hidden within you. You are the source, but you look for the source outside. That is the fundamental error. I have often said that money is like blood. It must circulate. If blood stops flowing, the body dies. It becomes gangrenous. If money stops flowing, your life stagnates. You become rigid, fearful, small. The miser is the poorest of men because he is owned by his possessions. His gold is his coffin. He counts it every day to make sure it is still there. He touches it, he smells it, but he cannot use it. He is a watchman, not an owner. He does not realize that in his fear of losing it, he has already lost life. He has sacrificed the living for the dead matter. The one who gives freely is never poor because he is connected to the infinite source. He doesn't rely on what he owns. He relies on what flows. And flow is infinite. You can empty the ocean cup by cup, but you cannot empty the source of the ocean. Have you ever noticed that after giving, After sharing something with genuine love, maybe you cooked a meal for friends, or you helped a stranger, you feel lighter, you feel freer, more alive. That is not imagination. That is energy in motion. When you give, you cleanse yourself of stagnation. You release old patterns of fear, and space opens for something new to enter. But when you hold back, when you act from greed, that energy becomes blocked. It turns into tension, into anxiety, into disease. Even your body knows it. People who hold too tightly, who fear losing, often suffer physically. Their stomachs are tight, their hearts are constricted, their energy is trapped. They are constipated spiritually. But the ones who trust, who share, who live generously, they glow, they radiate, because their energy moves like a river, fresh and alive. They are young even in old age, because flow is youth. Stagnation is age. And this is where a strange paradox unfolds. The more you give, the more you receive. But it's not a transaction. Don't. Make it a business deal. Okay, Osho, I will give 10%. Now where is my return? If you are waiting for the return, you haven't given. You have invested. It's a law, not a deal. Existence abhors a vacuum. Whenever you create space through giving, it rushes to fill it. If you empty your lungs, air rushes in. You don't have to pull the air in. The vacuum pulls it. But if you hold your breath, no new air can enter. If you hoard, if you clutter your hands and your heart, there is no room left for the new. Imagine a cup already full of stale tea. How can you pour fresh tea into it? You must pour out the old to receive the new. To receive, you must first empty. This is why giving and receiving are not opposites. They are two sides of the same act. They are one circle. When you give, you are simultaneously receiving, because you're saying to life, I trust you. And life loves that trust. It responds with abundance. Let me tell you another story. A monk once lived by a river, meditating all day. He had nothing, just his robes and a begging bowl. One morning, he saw a poor fisherman crying on the bank. The fisherman had dropped his day's catch back into the deep water by accident. He was devastated, for it was all he had to feed his family. He was wailing, beating his chest. The monk watched silently. He had just received his own meal from the village, some rice and vegetables. Without a word, he stood up and offered the fisherman his own meal, the entire bowl. The fisherman was shocked. He bowed with tears in his eyes and said, "Holy man, how can I repay you? This is your only food." The monk smiled and said, "By feeding the next hungry soul you meet. Do not break the chain." That evening, the fisherman went back to the river, feeling a strange lightness, a strange hope. And he caught more fish than he ever had in his life. His nets were breaking. He remembered the monk's words. He kept enough for his family and gave the rest to the other villagers who were hungry. Years later, that entire village prospered. Why? Because one man chose to break the cycle of scarcity. One man chose to give rather than hold. And that energy of generosity became contagious. It became a culture. Giving multiplies because it connects you to the web of existence. You don't need to keep score. Existence keeps balance on its own. It is the ultimate accountant, and it never makes a mistake. Real generosity has nothing to do with wealth. A rich man may give millions to build a hospital just to have his name on the building. That is not giving. That is purchasing fame. He remains poor in spirit. But a poor man who gives a smile to a crying child, who offers kindness to a stranger, who shares his love, piece of bread with love, he is infinitely rich, because he is giving from his being, not his surplus. True giving is not about the size of the gift. It's about the state of the heart. You give not to gain, but because giving itself is joy. When giving becomes your nature, when it becomes your way of being, money will flow to you, because you have become a channel for it to circulate through. You are no longer holding, you are allowing. Remember this, giving doesn't mean losing, it means trusting. When you trust existence enough to let go, existence trusts you enough to give more. And this trust creates a magnetic field around you. Have you met people who are generous? You just want to be around them. You want to help them. You want to work with them. Opportunities flow to them because they are open. But the miser, you avoid him. You hide your face. He repels abundance. So let your giving be play, not duty. Let it be a song, not a strategy. Don't give with a frown, like you are doing a favor to the world. Give with laughter, give with dance, because the moment you start giving from joy, you join the dance of existence. And in that dance, there is no poverty, there is no scarcity, there is no fear, only flow. If this philosophy of flow is resonating with your heart, take a moment to engage with the energy of this channel. Click the like button. It costs nothing, but it is a form of giving. It gives visibility to the message. And if you wish to support the continuation of this work, the Super Thanks feature is available. It is a way to keep the river flowing. And once you realize this, once you begin to see that the universe itself breathes, through the rhythm of giving and receiving, a deeper truth begins to unfold. That abundance is not something you achieve through struggle or attract through effort. It is a frequency, a vibration. And the moment you tune your being to it through gratitude, through trust, through joy, it becomes impossible for wealth to avoid you. It must find you because you become one with its song. And that is what we'll explore next, the frequency of wealth. The vibration of abundance that lives not in your bank account, but in your being. Because when your energy sings in harmony with existence, money is no longer something you earn. It becomes the echo of your joy, the reflection of your inner richness, the music of your effortless alignment with life itself. Everything in this universe is energy. Modern physics agrees with the ancient mystics on this point. Everything is vibration. The rock, the tree, the star, and you. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. Your breath, your heartbeat, your laughter, even your silence, it is all vibration. And money is also energy. It is not evil, it is not good, it is neutral. It is a subtle current that moves through the field of life. And like all energy, it obeys the laws of resonance. It responds not to your words, not to your effort, not to your hard work, but to your frequency. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. You walk into a room and sometimes you feel heavy. The vibration is low. You walk into a temple or a garden and you feel light. The vibration is high. There is an invisible hum beneath everything. This hum either opens the door to abundance or quietly closes. When you are fearful, when you worry about bills, when you are tense, anxious, jealous, your vibration contracts. Your energy becomes small, dense, heavy. It is a low frequency. It is the frequency of no. The universe feels it. It reads it like a signal. And because the universe is a mirror, it sends back experiences that match that energy. It sends you more reasons to be tense. It sends you scarcity, struggle, limitation. But when you are relaxed, grateful, joyous, open, your vibration expands. It becomes soft, light, radiant. It is the frequency of yes. You become magnetic, and money, opportunities, love, and synchronicities begin to orbit around you as naturally as planets around the sun. This is the frequency of wealth. It is not a frequency of greed. Greed is heavy. It is not a frequency of ambition. Ambition is stressful. It is a frequency of deep trust. To vibrate in abundance means to live as if you already have enough, because in truth you do. If you are breathing, you have enough. If you have eyes to see the colors of the world, you have enough. To vibrate in abundance means to walk through life with the quiet knowing that you are supported, that existence is on your side, that there is no need to rush, no need to push, no need to panic. When you live in this vibration, money starts to behave differently. It stops being an adversary. Most people treat money like an enemy they need to conquer. I have to go out and kill it and bring it home. No wonder it runs away. When you change your vibration, money becomes a friend. It becomes a reflection of your inner state. I once who had everything money could buy. He had a fleet of cars, mansions on every continent, fame, power. Yet, when I looked into his eyes, I saw a beggar. His eyes were filled with fear. He was constantly looking over his shoulder. He was paranoid that people were trying to steal from him. He couldn't sleep without pills. He was rich in the world, but poor in the soul. His hands were full, but his heart was empty. His vibration was scarcity disguised as success. He attracted wealth, yes, but his energy repelled peace. He didn't understand that abundance is not measured by what you possess, but by how you feel. I told him, you have collected shadows. You have a lot of furniture, but the house is dark. What you are missing is light, and that light is gratitude. Gratitude is the most powerful magnet in existence. Please listen to this carefully. Gratitude is the alchemy that turns base metal into gold. When you are grateful, you tell the universe, I trust you. I love what you have given me. You acknowledge that what you have is enough. And the universe, hearing that vibration, says, you like this, then take more. Because life gives to those who celebrate, not to those who complain. Have you noticed the complainer? He always finds something wrong. Even in paradise, he will complain that the halo is too tight or the clouds are too damp. And because he complains, his life becomes a series of problems. He attracts difficulty. But the one who celebrates even in hell, he will say, the fire is warm. At least I am not cold. And because he celebrates, hell transforms into heaven. Gratitude changes your frequency instantly. It turns every obstacle into an opportunity, every loss into a lesson, every moment into wealth. There was once a monk who lived in absolute poverty. He had nothing but an old wooden bowl. Every morning he would walk through the village begging for food, singing songs of thankfulness. Thank you, God, for this beautiful morning. Thank you for the air. Even when people ignored him, even when they slammed doors in his face, even when he went hungry, he remained grateful. He would sit under his tree and say, thank you, God, for giving me a fast today. My body needed the rest.